Hi, Tiffany Johnson here with OnlineBusinessManager.com. I am Tina Forsythe's Online Business Manager, as well as the Training Manager for Online Business Manager Certification Training Program at CertifiedOBM.com. Today, I'd like to talk to you about project management. I get it. It's not that sexy. It's not that much fun. And quite frankly, it's really just kind of in the nitty-gritty of details. And not everybody loves that. And I totally understand that. But what I hope to accomplish today is to be able to bring some ease into what it looks like to lay out a project, what it looks like to create your project plan. There's 3 elements I want to talk about. We're going to talk about checklist, we're going to talk about templates, and we're going to talk about how to manage all of the elements in your project software, okay? So the first thing is your checklist. When it comes to, let's say, a product launch. Now, if you're like me and you work with clients who launch a product every, 4 to 6 weeks, 8 weeks sometimes, you're doing a lot of these tasks over and over and over again. You may or may not have written down exactly what needs to happen when in a launch. So I'm going to tell you, this is necessary. It's absolutely necessary that you have your checklist of things that need to happen in a launch for a couple of reasons. One is you need to stop reinventing the wheel. Stop going back and looking what you did last time and, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember how we did that. And you're wasting so much time going back, trying to figure out what you did last time, trying to figure out how you did it last time. Go ahead and create a checklist of how you want every single launch to go. This checklist may have your marketing, all your marketing elements, how many emails you want to go out prior to the launch of an opt-in call or a preview call. How many emails do you want to go out after to what we call the bucket list? How many days ahead of time or how many weeks ahead of time do you need to reach out to affiliates? How many weeks ahead of time do you need to have the sales page completed? That's the type of stuff you need to have in this checklist, okay? You may also, let's say if your client delivers and they get their material from Wishlist or some other type of membership software, you may want to have a checklist for your class membership as well. Something that would say, okay, set up the registration page here, set it up like this, do it this many weeks ahead of time, or in every one of these memberships we have A, B, and C goes out to them. So make sure that A, B, and C is set up in your autoresponder series. Being able to set up your checklist so that it has every element of the launch in it. Now, this is going to be a very generic checklist. Obviously, every product has unique circumstances around it. It has a unique way or deliverable or specific affiliates or specific bonuses and stuff like that. So that would not necessarily go into the checklist. This would be the foundation of every project or each launch that you do. You would have a checklist. Let's say you wanted to move all of your websites from one host to another host, which we did a while back. You want to create a checklist of exactly what needs to be moved, where it's at, what needs to take place when it's moved, what plugins are on that particular website, what special things do we have going on that website. Lay out that plan ahead of time. Create your checklist ahead of time. I know that this seems time consuming. I know that it is just not that fun to sit down and write out, okay, this is what we do for this, or this is what we do for that. But the truth of the matter is that if you will take the time and do this, if you will set this standard for how you accomplish or how the business accomplishes this particular element, then you will find that you are wasting a whole lot less time each time you have to do it. You'll find that you're not avoiding your inbox because, quite frankly, you didn't know what was coming. I've talked to people even just this week who I was chatting with about our certification training, and they said, oh, one of the things that drives them crazy is they get on their inbox every morning and they get stuff that they didn't even know was coming. Like they got something new from their client and they had no idea that it was coming, and all of a sudden their entire day is turned into this upheaval because they didn't have time for this. They didn't necessarily plan on this, and so their schedule for the day was interrupted because they ended up with this particular item on their list that they weren't expecting, and it was time consuming. And I said, well, hey, the great thing about being an online business manager is that you don't have to wait on somebody to send you something in your inbox, because it's your responsibility to lay out the project for each and every plan that comes forth, for each and every product, launch, project, anything that's coming. You're the one who's steering that boat. So that was kind of exciting to them to know that they didn't have to be fearful of their inbox anymore, as I think all of us have been fearful of our inbox at times. So the first thing you want to do is create your checklist, okay? So stop reinventing the wheel. Stop, trying to figure out what you did last time. Just sit down. This is how we want it. Point A to point B. Create your roadmap, okay? Like I said, this is going to be a bit of a generic roadmap. It may say reach out to affiliates at 6 weeks. Create opt-in page at 4 weeks. Start launching or start marketing emails broadcast out at 2 weeks. So it would be very basic like that. But if you'll even just get the basic things in, which it'll continue to grow as you see that you repeat steps, you're going to find that just having that checklist is going to be beneficial. The other thing I wanted to say in the checklist is you want templates. Part of a project plan is already having things templated so that you're not rewriting emails, having to think up creatives. I mean, if you have a outline of how you did it the last time, like if you create your thank you pages all the same way, and you know that you do, just grab that code copy and pop it into your template, into a templated area, and have that, okay, here's the checklist. It says create thank you page. And then out from that, it says, and create it like this, and there's a link right there that takes them directly to the thank you page that you want to be templated. This is super easy stuff, and it's stuff that I know you know, but it needs to be said because of the fast-paced industry that we work in and the amount of tasks that we do in a day's period, that often we don't take the time necessary to lay out these type of elements. But if we would, it would save us so much time later on, instead of having to say, oh, where is that thank you page? Oh, we love that one. And where's it at? Which website was it? I mean, for us, it's like, which website was it? Which domain is it on? And if you already have that laid out, this is exactly how we like to do our thank you pages. This is exactly what our autoresponder email looks like when you've signed up for something. This is what the email is going to look at. Here's the template. Just change the name of the program, change the dates, change the whatever, but here's the template of how that's going to be done. This is going to do a couple of things for the Online Business Manager. One, it is going to take some of these elements off your plate, because if you have a template for each one of these emails, then your VA can set it up. You don't even have to be the one to be in there setting up each of these elements. You don't have to set up the thank you page. Your web person or your VA, and you're not having to answer 100 questions around every single launch. They already know what the expectation is. There's already a standard laid out for them when you have templates. So you want to create your checklist, and then you want to create templates that is actually going to support each element of a project. Now, obviously, some projects, such as the one I mentioned earlier about moving websites to a new host, that's not necessarily going to have templates to it. But many of the projects that we do recurring. We do launches recurring. We do product creation recurring. We do customer service recurring. So you want to set up your checklist and set up your templates for these recurring tasks that are in the business. And then lastly, I wanted to talk to you about how you plug each of these elements into your project management or virtual office software. And this is super easy, and I'm not going to go into detail on it, but I am going to say that it's very important that when you're looking at project management, that you actually manage that project in a virtual office of some type, in a project management system. And what I mean by that is it needs to be a system that has milestone and task task list that you can take your checklist and literally plug it in to that task list with the date of completion, the expectation of the completion, as well as the date, the person who's going to fulfill that task. So when you manage a project like this, when you set up your checklist and you just grab it every single time you're doing that reoccurring task or that reoccurring project, and you have your templates available, and you plug every element into a project management software system, what you have created now is a very smooth operating process. You've created an availability and an ability to be able to work in what I like to call a lean productivity. We want to be in lean productivity. We want to get as much accomplished as we can possibly get accomplished in as little a time as possible. So that is what I really encourage you today, is to do that. Now, I just want to do a quick plug right quick for Tina's new program that's coming up next week. It's a totally awesome program about leveraging revenue streams workshop. So if you haven't checked that out, you'll want to go to automateyourgrowth.com/revenue streams. automateyourgrowth.com/revenue streams. And for an OBM, the reason why you need to check this out is because never hurts for us to know all the different options for revenue streams, right? It's not always just being an online business manager for folks. So Tina's going to talk about that. And then secondly, your clients are creating revenue streams, and you need to know what options are out there, how to help them get started, how to get these revenue streams out, every single detail that they need to know. You need to know as the online business manager. So be sure to check out automateyourgrowth.com/revenue streams and come join that workshop with us, okay? Thanks.